I want to bring in then the EFF's Gauteng chairperson, and this is Nkululeko Dunga, who was also a part of that news conference a little bit earlier. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing well, but how are you doing more importantly?
We're perfectly well, and we anticipate that the people of Tshwane would be as equally excited that not only did we remove the former Democratic Alliance mayor who did not service the people of City of Tshwane, but that there is actually genuinely a new hope in terms of service delivery orientation that should bring in a new excitement in the capital city.
Okay, I want to do something fun with you, can I? I want to do a pop quiz. Can I do a pop quiz with you? Okay, because I think the big thing is that people want to ensure that whoever comes in doesn't come in for political expediency, right? And, you know, we've asked Herman Mashaba before about statements that ActionSA has made. We'll never work with the criminally corrupt ANC and we'll never work. And here we are today. They're pledging their allegiance. So what we learn as well from political philosophy is there are no permanent enemies or friends, only permanent interests, right? So that seems to be at play here today. But if you're coming into the city of Tshwane, we want to know that this new team and the new mayor that you're proposing understands the lay of the land. So if I ask you, I'm going to do this pop quiz with you. You ready? Mm-hmm. How many citizens in Tshwane?
We've got about 1.5 million people who reside in the city of Tshwane.
It's 4 million that Tshwane covers, right? So these are all the regions. How many regions in Tshwane?
There are 7.
Okay, if I had prizes, I would give them out. What is the square kilometer radius of, or the square kilometers that encompass Tshwane? How many is that?
I wouldn't be too sure of it, but I can try it. Wouldn't it be 1,500 or so?
Just over 6,000, so 6,200 odd square kilometers. Apparently you can fit 23 Parises and 10 New Yorks inside the geography of Tshwane. And I know we're having a little bit of fun, and I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but it's leading to a sober question, which is, how well capacitated is this new executive? Of course, we know the name now of the proposed mayor, Dr. Moya. We don't know yet about the deputy mayor, if I'm correct, so that will evolve over the next, well, hopefully today we'll get some answers on that. But we want to know that they're capacitated to fix the problems here in the city.
Yeah, well, look, definitely. I think what is also permanent is the view of the EFF. You know, for the past 4 terms of the previous mayoral committees was the EFF advocating for their removal after having obviously interrogated and being a proper opposition that has identified that they are not able to give the service delivery orientation to the people of Tshwane. And the second point is obviously the rationale of the EFF. We're back again with the commander-in-chief at one stage had said that let's look at the proportion of giving over certain political parties the responsibility to run certain municipalities. And at one stage we had a discussion that let the ANC take over the City of Johannesburg, let ActionSA look at the City of Tshwane and the EFF in Ekurhuleni. We are back at that conversation that the Commander-in-Chief, President Julius Malema, had raised initially at the composition of governance. We are confident in that the new configuration of government will not only create stability in terms of the political leadership question, but also equate it to service delivery, particularly to areas such as Atteridgeville, Soshanguve, and Mamelodi, where there is dire need of service delivery orientation outside of just the CBD area, which is not only infested in terms of the lack of waste removal, but also crime hotspots. And those are just some of the things that we'd advocate for. And obviously, at a point of departure for the economic freedom fighters was that there should not be differences, particularly in that we had made it clear that our support on whoever emerges, particularly even from the ActionSA candidate now, is that they must go now and set up a permanent office at the Hammanskraal Rooiwal water treatment project so that it gets to run for at least 24 hours up until its completion, because we cannot postpone the service delivery of water in that area.
Nkululeko, I understand we've got about 5 minutes, I think, before official proceedings begin, so I'm going to let you off the hook. Quick hot change again with the leader of ActionSA, and this is Mr. Herman Mashaba. Pass the baton on. So I had fun with Mr. Dunga, just, you know, doing a little pop quiz around the city itself, because again, we see this as another morning of politicking. We're going to see a changing in the deck chairs. We know that you already have massive support for your new mayoral candidate. But we want to know, and the citizens of Tshwane want to know, whether service delivery is actually going to become a reality for them. What makes this mayor different than any other we've had before?
Well, I think residents of the city of Tshwane must really appreciate that South Africa has entered the era of coalitions. Coalitions, by their nature, it's a worldwide phenomenon. Are they stable? South Africa is really new in this environment, and what we can really guarantee them and really give our commitment, and I think we've had extensive discussions with the ANC and other parties in terms of our commitment in ensuring that between now and the elections, service delivery is going to be the core mandate of the executive mayor and her team, which she will announce in the next coming few days.
The thing is, Mr. Mashaba, coalition mayors and executive teams haven't done really well. They haven't survived. They haven't been fit for purpose since 2016. Before 2016, we had a different configuration in South African politics, and we had mayors who pretty much on average stayed the term. I think there were 3 before 2016. We've had the 6 since. We haven't really been able to stay the course. What's going to make your new incumbent stay the course, given the fickleness, I want to say, of coalition politics and allegiances?
You know, fortunate enough, I was part of the 2016 coalition arrangement in the City of Johannesburg with a minority government, where we had to rely on the EFF the councillors, where the DA, the party I was representing at the time, did not have an official arrangement. But look at how operated that coalition in the 3 years I was the mayor. Was the most stable government. Why? Is because I took an approach from day one of respecting all the parties. I'll never take a chance to take any report to council without consulting other parties. Unfortunately, the party I was representing at the time was not happy with the approach of consultation and provision of services to other communities. So right now, we are working with parties that actually share the same issues that got me into politics, to make sure that we don't run.
You're also working with people, because I have to throw it back to the studio, also working with people that you vowed, and we've said this before, that you'd never work with criminally corrupt ANC and their networks. But here we are this morning, and there's a different message, and the public should believe you. Why is this different to what you've said before?
Well, I think the voters are the ones who put us into this environment. I think, I'm sure the ANC would have loved to really have outright majority. ActionSA would have loved all the parties. But at the end of the day, we accepted a democratic dispensation. And I think for us as South Africans, honestly and truly, if we honest people, we must be grateful for the ANC for accepting the outcome of these elections. Because if you look at our continent over the last 60 years, what has brought in instability is because of the leadership refusing to accept the outcome. So,
all right, so we'll see how this
arrangement by the voters.
We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out, because you know, a month, a week, 6 months is a very long time in politics. Mr. Mashaba, we look forward to seeing you in chambers as you cast those votes. I've got to hand it back to studio. I know we've been a little bit naughty with the time, but we'll bring you back into the chamber as these official proceedings begin. Back to you, Stephen.
Anne Rapetti, thank you very much indeed. Live to the start of that council meeting in just a moment in Tshwane.